that close? That sucks. No, you're tilted. Wow!
Call Jamie and Danny now.
No!
Yeah, call us now.
This is all a sign.
What else bad happened?
No, you're wearing neon.
Yeah.
You know what? And I wore a mood ring that my kid gave me just to check.
And what mood are we?
So far, we're happening.
No, because you know why?
Because I look like a child?
Your chair is like tilted forward, and so you look like the hunchback, but yet it reclines.
But we were in a major chair dilemma like a second ago. I came in, it was crazy, and as you know from working with us for years,
we have a chair thing.
if the chair's not happening, the show's not happening.
Swear to God.
Swear to God.
It's the weirdest thing. That and these buttons right here, these, those, if they don't work right, like if I
Right,
can't
'cause it's not happening.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Now, the chair is different, which would be weird.
I know,
First,
but
the chair was bad.
Can I tell you something? I don't even like it. It makes me uncomfortable that your chair is like that.
But now, even though it's
No, I don't
different.
like it. I don't like it. It's wiggly.
No, it's not. Fix that. I did that.
Well, something's different.
I'm kicking back. That's what's different. I'm in a recliner with Joey and Chandler.
It's so stupid what can send your day off.
Oh, I've had 100 things happen already today.
No, but I mean, everybody has that one, I don't know, not finding something. That's obviously one. But just that weird thing, even in your cars. You know, if somebody uses your car or your husband or whatever, and then you get in the car and it's just, and you play with it for hours and you can't get it right. And what?
The valet adjusts my seat because they're all short and I'm tall, and it upsets me when I get in the car and my knees are pressed against the steering wheel, and then to get it right back in the right.
You can never find it.
I have the absolute opposite problem.
What?
Well, I got my car washed the other day.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to be short and just walk around and you're short and that's that. It's another thing to get in your own car that is a compact and not be able to reach the pedals.
Oh.
Nobody thinks the seats in a Viper actually move. They're just glued against the back wall. And Stench says, well, I could never drive that car. I couldn't even get in that car. When you can't reach the pedals of a car real people can't even get into, you just feel tiny.
I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah,
boy.
I better check my ring. Oh, I'm dead.
oh my God, it did turn colors. It was green.
You know what? I put it on once before because it will turn my finger green. It was a thing from my daughter. And it did immediately, so I took it right back off. But when I put it on, it turned bright yellow.
Yeah.
When she first gave it to me.
You might be moody.
Yeah, the ring's a sign.
It was green, now it's blue. Maybe that's happiness.
I'm moody. My clothes change color. I'm so moody.
All right. Well, could you get that thing right or something?
Well, it's different, but I kind of like it.
Okay, well, if you like it, I don't.
But the problem there is that I'll never find this spot again.
I know.
This was a 1 in a million shot, so I have to lock this chair up.
Oh, in our office?
Yeah.
All right. Is that really where you want to be?
For now.
Okay.
Because usually the position has to last 4.5 hours. And I don't know. It seems kind of groovy right now.
All right. Well, I mean, it just seems a little kicked back.
I am a little kicked back.
We're not usually kicked back type of people.
Well, I agree with you.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not sure the tilt of this chair is going to make me go, I just feel good about everything.
In the rain, I don't think
Not positive.
Me either. Jack's picking the hits.
He's looking nervous.
When he said, I'll never be able to find this position in the chair again, it reminded me of MacArthur Park.
How's that mind working for you?
Wow.
Jack?
You know what?
He'll never have that recipe again.
You'll never have that position
it's true.
again.
It's true, Jack. You're absolutely right. And that's totally worth doing.
Wow. You know what it is? Jack decided to go out of the black or the gray that he usually wears.
Into pumpkin orange.
Oh, neon.
Yeah.
An electric pumpkin.
Yeah. It's electric. Da, 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 da. Where were you, Jack?
This was forced upon me. Because we were at the gift store in Kentucky, and my wife said, I'm going to get you a T-shirt. And I said, okay, I don't want the orange one. And then she came back with the orange one.
You know, we as women do that.
Yeah. I specifically said, any of them except for that orange one.
Well, that's your own damn fault right there.
Oh, yeah.
For saying about the orange one or marrying that girl?
Well, it's a little bit of both, really. Yeah, you got the combo deal with that one.
You've been supersized.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, it is Wednesday, and they call it. Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was Tuesday.
That was yesterday.
I realize that now.
My God, where did Tuesday go?
I don't know.
Is it August yet?
No.
Thank God.
I'm just missing a day. You got the month wrong.
That's true. And not till Sunday. Jack, just rattling off like that. How did you know? Is there a birthday or? There's calendars.
So,
that hurt me.
I bought this watch in New York, and you see these other 3 groovy dials?
Yeah.
They say like Sunday, Monday, and then months.
Right.
They're just a design. They don't really do anything.
I think they do stuff. You just don't know how to set them.
You know why I know that?
One's a second hand.
Right. Which works.
And the other one is the time probably
this one,
in the east.
It says Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. These are the days of the week in that circle. This is the month of the year.
Yeah.
And this is something else. But it's a cheap fake off the street watch in New York City. So those things don't really do anything. It's Sunday forever.
Well, you know what? Sunday's not a bad day. It's the day to worship the Lord.
That's what I do on my Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, here's the deal.
What's the deal?
Chris Hughes is going to be doing the traffic next, and if you use the 5 in Burbank, or if you're any part, well, there's a mess.
Yeah, southbound 5.
Southbound 5. I mean, he's
I
going to
was
give you all
taking
the
the
details.
northbound 5.
Oh my God, they even have an inloader out there. Like, I think it's called an inloader. I don't know, whatever the hell. The big bulldozer.
Yeah.
Scraping up the carnage.
Well, they're actually folding up the wreckage of the truck because to get it out of there, folding it into a cube.
Is that what they're doing?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's
Oh, my
bad.
God.
It was a big old produce truck, and I don't know why. I guess the fructose. it caught. I mean, it exploded.
That's a lot of fruit.
I would think it was a gas.
It was the fuel that ruptured.
I mean, but a gas, truck, because it looks like such a mess.
Right.
So anyway, so that's all jacked up, and
The fruit could have been fermenting
right. That's what I'm saying.
and letting off noxious fumes.
Yeah, and maybe it was like starting to make some wine or something. I don't know, or alcohol. It doesn't make grain alcohol.
By the way, that's the first thing I thought of when
Wine?
the first Survivor came out.
What?
I thought if I got chosen to go, I'd have to go take a quick class and learn how to ferment.
I thought at rehab they taught you not to do that.
No, I'm not exactly sure what they did out of rehab because I drank on the way home.
Oh.
That was money well.
88.7.
Oh my God.
What?
I don't know. There's just so much going on. Stinge just handed us a buttload of stuff that we need to do. We'll get if you listened to yesterday's show, the lady lost her parrot, so we're going to find her parrot or just get an update. If nothing happened, then we'll just tell you nothing happened.
Good.
And also the lady that lost her husband. We will find out if she ever found him. And that's kind of a sad story. We
Right.
thought it was going to be funny, but
He's like a confused guy with MS.
yeah, so that kind of sucks a big,
Yes, it does.
you know. And then we have Brian who called and was boohooing and actually had tears because his wife of 5 years.
Is he our first man crier?
I think he might be.
Which is okay with me. I cry. Jack cries.
Yeah.
If my wife was having an affair, I'd. It would be such a hall pass. I don't know that I'd cry. I'd fake cry and make her feel good.
It's weird as a chick because, you know, my dad never cried or anything.
Right.
And then when you see that person that never cries in your life cry, it could it could destroy you as a human being.
Setsuko, and I don't know, that's my ex-wife, the girl I married for a green card. I don't know if all Japanese think of this, but Japanese are very specific in their culture. And she told me men get to cry 3 times in their life. And I forget what they were, but one was when your parents die.
Yeah.
But that was like a hard and fast rule.
When you stub your toe really, really hard.
That's me, man.
Where the nail has lifted off the bed of the cuticle.
I don't think that was one of the 3 times.
A tear is allowed right there.
I'm not sure that was one of the times.
Well, men do more of that, like that thing where they hold it in.
I freeze.
That weird thing.
When I hurt myself like a shocking pain,
yeah,
I freeze to figure out how much this is going to hurt.
Well, because it takes a half a second
Right.
for it to get to your head.
I wonder, okay, is this going to be, I just freeze up completely, and while I'm frozen, I'm thinking, all right, is the pain going to escalate to unbearable, or is it going to start getting less painful in a second?
Well, it is true, though, when you're really, really, really hurt, I don't think you cry because it hurts too much. Tears are like...
No, I've been
more like moan.
I've been pretty seriously injured a few times in my life, and no, it never occurred to me to cry.
Yeah. I think it's a good one. You know how women overuse the cry thing?
Yeah.
I mean, which we do, and I've learned my lesson, and I'm done with that one because it didn't work. But when you date a guy or are married to a guy or whatever who uses the cry card way too much.
A guy, yeah.
Oh, my God. You just want to pummel him.
Yeah. On the other hand, the reverse of that is Gretchen does not cry. And that kind of bothers me a little bit.
Ever?
There is, she cries over things, like her brother is in Iraq.
Right.
And I don't know what I'm allowed to say with somebody. He's not injured, but some seriously bad stuff has happened to him that he was touching. If you know what I'm saying. It was bad, gory stuff happened right in his arms. And so he wrote this letter about that he wouldn't take his leave. He's got 15 days coming. And he said, I won't take it. I'm not leaving. Half of my guys are dead. And I'm not going to leave them while I go hang in Germany for 15 days. I'm staying. And she broke down on that. She cried on that. But when we were having big problems and I thought we were going to break up.
Well, she's more angry.
Yeah. She was all about get out. Where's the money?
Yeah. Well, when you're angry, you don't tend to cry.
Yeah. She's not a big crier when it comes to she and I.
No. But, in relationships, I think you have more anger than you have sadness. I mean...
No, I would imagine in our relationship she has sadness most of the time.
But don't you think that the anger emotion overrides the sadness one? If you got both of them going on.
Well, I think you got a really bad relationship if you got them both going on simultaneously.
Well, or a normal one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And then you're so pissed off when you try the cry card and they don't react. Oh, man. Are you kidding me?
You know how long it took me to work this up?
Yeah, I know. And they're like, you know what? Sorry, I just,
Anybody ever splash water in their face or chop an onion or whatever it took to fake crying?
Stared at a wall until, how you can't blink?
I've bent forward and held a cigarette, not to be hot, but to get the smoke to go directly into my eye.
That's a good one.
It didn't really work that well.
Oh, it didn't?
No, and water doesn't look like tears. I've been busted on that one. Oh. She just went, what'd you go in the bathroom with the water in your face?
Oh, that's not good.
It was horrifying.
Well, because you can just stare at a wall. I mean, it kind of takes a little while, and then you're kind of out of the argument because you're like, I'm trying to, muster up some. And you're staring at a wall, and you're like, I can't blink. But then the weirdest thing is you can win that game that day. The stare game?
Yeah. Oh, right.
Because you're like, I'm trying to muster one up. Oh, my God. And then you're like, oh, my God, why aren't we playing the stare-off game today? But that's just me. Maybe it's not you.
Oh, maybe it's everybody.
I know.
No, it's doubtful, but maybe.
But it is a weird thing, the boo-hooers. Jack, are you a boo-hooer?
No, I'll cry, but I don't,
I think Jack and I are about the same. We don't cry over actual stuff.
Oh.
At least for me, if I am found crying and you say, why are you crying? Absolutely nothing happened.
Really?
Yep, just happened to be crying that moment.
Whoa. That's deep. Kind of creepy.
It's sad and going to make me cry.
Well, actually, though, you guys are going to be happy. I know we have to take a break. I actually feel like Dr. Phil might be full of crap.
Yes, he is.
Finally,
weren't we all? Didn't we finally join the page where his advice was good?
Well, I watched a repeat yesterday, and I really think, and part of it's about crying,
right.
And that's why I bring it up. Part of it's about crying, and part of it's about trust. And I watched it, and I thought, shut the. Then.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. By the way, first calls of the day are brought to you by Ralph's, the first in California.
Yeah.
Remember the guy out there out in the field?
See, I like the other one better, where the lady gets all pissed and says, "Hey, how do I know your meat's good?"
Right.
And he says, "If I wouldn't put it on my table, I wouldn't put it in my store." And then she looks like she's seen the light and says, "What? Thank you, Mr. Ralph."
Anyway, all right. So that's our first calls of the day, and we have a know-it-all Deb.
Hey, Deb.
Hey, guys.
Isn't it interesting that Danny thinks about you almost every single day?
Yeah.
Actually, I thought of Daddy yesterday.
See that?
Yes, I did. I was in the post office, and I got very excited that our Buckminster Fuller has his own stamp now.
Wow.
And the post office lady said, who the heck is this guy? And I told her.
And you thought,
said,
my Dan would know.
But I don't.
Oh.
I can't tell you the great things he did.
Geodesic dome, but we don't have time, because I have to tell you that if a man doesn't cry when his children are born, he's like not human. That has to be one of the times.
Well, try running a stake through my heart and see what happens, because I don't think I
You
did.
didn't cry?
Yeah,
don't think so.
But he was in a different state. She means somebody that's in this state.
No, in the room.
Yeah, because I don't think I cried.
Well, I know, but you...
I was scared.
No, but you also were across the street at Jerry's Deli. Remember?
No, I was across the street at the Hard Rock.
Oh, okay. Well,
You weren't right there with Gretchen?
no, he was,
Yeah.
but he had cocktails
I was
before.
lit.
Yeah,
Okay. Maybe not.
yeah, but I
No,
mean,
but I was down at the busy end for that one,
Okay.
and it was just more gore than I could handle. I was more concerned than anything else.
But you know what? Tears actually do come just from pain. Because I had a contraction while they were trying to get in the IV, while they were trying to do the epidural, and the tears just came, and it wasn't like I was trying. It was a lot of pain.
We believe you there.
yeah, because you had all factors going. There was an arm pain, a back pain, a belly pain.
It was bad. But I wanted to tell you, Jamie, I agree with you on Dr. Phil.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed in him.
Yesterday's, yeah, I got to tell you, yesterday's was bad.
And it was a rerun.
And it was a rerun, but this family is such a train wreck. I'm not even sure why he started with that.
I know, but he said something about trust and depression, and it really ticked me off, and I screamed, "Oh, no, it's not!"
Okay, explain.
All right, well, actually, you know what? I can't, because we have to take a break.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, but Jamie, I just wanted to say welcome back. I really missed you.
Well, thank you so much.
And I knew it was your little midlife crisis, and I was hoping against hope you'd give me a call and let me help you through it.
Well, you know what? I helped myself.
Yeah, girl.
And life is, good.
Wow.
So
Wow, that was a weird thing,
That
huh?
was a little Freudian right there.
Choke right at life is good. All right, Deb. So here's my profound Dr. Phil theory.
All right, go.
And again, I like to tell you, it was a rerun, but I just happened to take a little break from whatever it was I was doing. And I sat down, and there he was. He was talking to some family in crisis. And so the first thing he said was, because this family in crisis has a problem trusting each other, the husband and wife. And he said, a lot of people, he said, the way you can determine how you trust somebody is based on the trust you have within yourself and your own self-confidence. Mm-hmm. And then that will tell you what kind of a trusting person you are. If you have problems trusting people, then it means that you have low self-confidence, and it means that you have no trust in yourself. Now, let me just tell you, as somebody who has trusted and somebody that has been completely screwed,
Right?
that has nothing to do with it.
Okay, now we talked about this a little bit during the break, and I kind of thought you meant one thing, and now I'm not sure I'm completely clear.
Let me just tell you
Please.
this. There was somebody I dated for a very long time.
Right?
And I, at the beginning, completely trusted him. Completely. Without a doubt, trusted him. And that had nothing to do with if I trusted myself. I trusted him. It had nothing to do with if I had self-confidence. I trusted him. Well, lo and behold, if you didn't find out all this crap about him, and it didn't change my own self-confidence, and it didn't change my trust for myself, it just was about him, not about me.
Okay, the only thing I see in that, because I think Dr. Phil's wrong too.
Oh,
But I just don't remember the day you trusted that guy.
when I first dated him, I did.
Okay, I'm sure you did, but when you trust a guy.
No, because that's what was so awful about it, is because I was in love with him and I was totally trusting. And then when you find out that they're not, as I told him, you're not the person I thought you were.
Right.
That is a bigger squelch on anything the lies suck. But when you find out that your whole life with that person was a lie, then you're like, oh my. But anyway, that's a different
But you know what it is, though, for that particular issue with me, and my reflection is, when everything's great and you trust a guy, you don't come into work and look at your friends and coworkers and say, you know what, I really trust that guy. It's only when he does something to break that trust that you tell anybody.
Right, that's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I only remember the day you found out he was untrustworthy. I don't particularly remember the day you trusted that guy.
Yeah,
I believe that had nothing to do with you. And my way's the opposite. I am untrustworthy. I think larceny just runs through my veins. Sometimes I'll be out with my dog and he'll do his duty and there'll be people around, so I'll pretend to pick it up.
I don't know why you guys bother to pretend when you can just go ahead and, as long as you're scooping over.
Because I'm far from home, it's not a good consistency for picking up, whatever.
Oh.
But doing the wrong thing is what first jumps into my mind.
Right.
Just do the wrong thing. That's the first thing I think. Where I trust Gretchen implicitly. So again, Dr. Phil is completely wrong on two different levels.
Yeah, because your level of trust for somebody is based on how they treat you and the reasons they give you to trust them or whatever. What, Jack?
I hate to say this.
What?
But he's only right in one instance. When the other person is actually trustworthy. That's the only time Dr. Phil's right. When the other person, like say Stench and I are dating and he's not cheating on me, but I'm like,
you're that
Stench
person.
is
Well,
cheating
then,
on me. That's the only time your self-confidence comes into trusting the other person.
Where you're completely insecure about it. Right. The relationship.
And the other thing is, just because I trust Gretchen, I don't trust most people. And that may be because I'm not trustworthy.
Oh, boy, you guys are... You know what?
Right.
I came in, I offered like the Dr. Phil is right thing, and look at you. What?
Dr. Phil's totally right. And haven't you ever been in a relationship with someone who's a dirty, cheating bastard? And
You know what? I have.
They're usually the first to call you that because they are.
Well, okay, that's true.
You know, it's like they're like... In a way, they don't even know it, and they're flipping the script without knowing it.
But if I don't trust somebody because I found out that they're not trustable,
right?
And they're untrustworthy, then that's not because of me.
Not in every situation.
Okay,
you're right too. You're both right.
Right. There's an issue
I hate that he's right.
Yeah, because also I think most people do bad things and are not as they appear to be. I think that because my first reaction to things is larceny. My first is the cheap way around, the shortest cut to where I need to be. And I think most people are like me. And I don't trust them because I don't really trust me.
Okay, I'm going to play too.
Uh-oh.
I will say that part of the demise of Builder Bob and myself is because I had an untrusting 6-year relationship. And so then I went into a new relationship with Builder Bob, not trusting him at all.
So Dr. Phil was right.
Yeah.
But this one you're going to like, the next one.
Okay.
All right. So then he says, by the way, I'm very disappointed in this room. But anyway, the second thing he said was, depression is just this attitude. And basically, if you lift up your head, you can get over it.
No. He's full of crap.
He's full of crap.
That's what he said. He said that people that are depressed, they just sit there with their head down and that they, just stay in this position. And if they just lifted up their head and would look up and, just realize that they should lift up their head, then they'd get out of their depression.
I can be depressed on my motorcycle going 130 miles an hour.
Wow.
I don't just sit there and be depressed. If I'm depressed and have to go do something, I get up, I go do it. I usually am in some way making some kind of compensation for my effort. I'm zipping along and I'm still depressed.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they do say that women that just have had children, they've been doing this this study or whatever where they gave them light boxes. I don't know what a light box. I'm assuming it's like a tanning face thing, that you tan your face. And they said that the women that put their face in these light boxes for just 5 minutes a day suffered less postpartum than the women.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Because I think you end up being like in an opium den or whatever with your baby. You know what I mean? Like you just end up being here I am with my kid. All the lights are pulled. The shades are drawn and all that stuff.
I did that it's like you described my day yesterday.
You were in the opium den?
Man, I came in, I thought we had a smoking good show and a good time. And by the time I hit that room with B-Rad, our boss, and we had that meeting, I could barely move. I don't know what it was. He even noticed it in some way. I forget what he said, but I could tell he was looking at me kind of funny. And when I got home, I closed all the shades, started to read a book, and I slept until 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh, my God. Was that depression?
I can't tell you what it was. But, yeah, I guess it was depression, whatever. What my stomach was
why
in
were
knots.
you depressed?
I have no idea.
He's the dad.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil said if you just go outside and lift up your head, that wouldn't have happened.
Well, this morning he was right. I got up and had a very exciting morning before I came to work and couldn't be in a better mood.
Well, Jack, from now on, when you sit in your opium den, you just go outside and lift your head. Dr. Phil said you'll be fine.
Walk my dogs and have a stare off with coyotes. It puts a little spring in your step.
I do think that there is something to be said, though, about once you decide to be depressed, you can stay in that when you know that you could get out of it.
But that's different. Right. He didn't say, hey, once you're in depressed, you can just talk yourself into it. He said, if you're depressed, just lift your head up, and that's crap.
Because I've waited for people to come and save me at my house, and nobody stops by, so then...
No,
Jack, you told me I had 20 seconds, and I have trail mix in my mouth.
All I had to do is I was prepared to talk and everything and just have you swallow.
Who's he, Squeal Boy?
Yeah.
Yes, he's Squeal Boy. The world's most puss superhero.
Anyway.
Don't fret, it's Squeal Boy.
All right, so this Dr. Phil thing, how he said, and actually Danny has agreed with Dr. Phil twice because you said that you were depressed during your vacation and you jumped on a water slide and then you weren't depressed no more.
And that's right. It's totally true. I realized at 44 years old, everybody was still asleep because I wake up really early. And I thought, that water slide's fun. And I went out, did the water slide all by myself at like dawn, and it was super fun, and I wasn't depressed anymore.
It didn't relieve your depression. It was like putting a Band-Aid on a giant wound. You felt better for a second, but
I never feel good with a Band-Aid on a giant wound.
Yeah, because it keeps bleeding. So you were still depressed. You just didn't know it because you're stupid.
I got to go with no on this.
No!
Because you know what it was? It wasn't just the fact that the water slide was fun. It was also the fact that I did it, that I'm looking out my window at that thing thinking, I wonder if that would be fun, because I had to jump over the gate. It wasn't open yet. I had to so there was crime involved.
Dry?
No, it runs 24 hours because I checked that.
Danny, he's stuck in the middle of it.
Oh, because I know about that. Because that has happened to me.
But I really do believe that you can talk yourself out of a depression.
I agree if it's a depression over a thing. If something bad has happened to you and you're depressed about it, you can talk yourself out of it.
But if something bad has happened to you, then you're sad. That's different than depression. If something bad has happened in your life, you're sad, and it's really sad. And that's a different emotion than depression. Depression's that thing where you can't move, you can't eat, I can't eat, I can't breathe. It's...
Okay, but then how do you describe the fact that my family was sleeping like angels? And I just woke up in a hotel room in Orlando and just didn't, and was depressed.
Well, that's depression. That's not sadness.
And the water slide fixed it, I'm telling you.
I believe you. Right. I'm with you. What I'm saying is you said if something happened in your life, well, that's sadness. You can't fix sadness. If something bad happened, you have to get over that emotion. But depression, I really believe in my heart that you can just get out of that.
And I disagree.
I think sadness is the one you can't get out of.
See, I think clinical depression you can't talk yourself out of.
I think if you went skipping, remember?
I've tried. When I've noticed myself slipping into the really bad depression.
Right.
I thought life's not that bad, things aren't, and you think and you try and talk yourself out of it, and sometimes you can't because I think it's chemical.
Go for a bike ride.
I have.
Go on a water slide.
I used to go for walks and bike rides and everything. I don't have a water slide in Burbank, but
No, you suck.
I'll build.
Dude, I am so trying to find a way to put one in my backyard. They don't have that in the Yellow Pages.
All you need is, what's that pipe called?
PVC?
Yeah.
Gigantic.
Big one.
And a hose?
Or Wesson oil.
No, I'm telling you, I'm dead serious. I want to figure that out.
Yeah, that's
but
all you need.
They don't have it in the Yellow Pages.
That's all you need.
But I think Jack's right. Clinical depression, you just can't talk yourself out. Because there are certain steps I take to think I got to get myself out of this. Like, I love my family and they love me. I make enough money to live. I'm healthy, and it doesn't work.
Well, then why is it in this big study where they did this light therapy with these women that have postpartum depression, the women that put their faces in the light box had less postpartum depression?
Because I think the depressed lady's sitting there, and the other lady's got her face in a light box going, hey, my face is in a light box. This is really weird.
Oh, it's preventable medicine, the light box. You can prevent yourself from going into a depression by keeping your head up, but as soon as you let your guard down, you go back into the depression. Dr. Phil's an ass.
I could talk myself out of being depressed if I could just walk over there and punch you in the face and get away with it.
Well, see, there you go. That's your therapy then.
If I just walk over there and mash him.
Yes, Jack, elongation.
California has the best weather. We have sun more days than anybody else, and yet I've never met more depressed people than there are in Los Angeles. So if light could fix it.
Wait, that's not a depression. That's just more of a disappointed in yourself.
It's because your depressed waiter isn't your depressed movie star.
Right. I mean, they're just disappointed.
It's not like everybody moves to other cities. I mean, Seattle's depressed because of their weather, but it's not like the whole country is flocking there in hopes of getting a job at Starbucks.
Right.
The whole world is coming here in hopes of being a movie star.
All of LA is just let down.
Yeah. Except by the parts of their body that have been elevated by all sorts of plastics.
Right, exactly. Dawn, hi. Oh, hell. She was a good one, too.
No, was she?
Yeah.
Because I've got on the computer screen, explain light therapy.
Well, she
Can
did
we?
it. I guess she did it.
Oh, I thought she wanted us to do it.
Light, where you
put your face in a box full of light.
It's just basically where, you have a baby and you're in your house the whole time and you don't want to go out yet and all that stuff. And then they give you a big old light bright and you stick your face in the light bright.
Okay, super hard to be depressed doing light bright.
I hate light bright now. And somebody even mailed me one.
It was bitching. You made stuff with it.
I did make stuff, but I was let down because I remember it being so much greater.
I don't remember the hassle of punching through stuff.
Yeah. And some of them don't line up right and go through.
And then you're done, and if you want to do anything else, you have to sort out all those pegs into the appropriate color packets and then start all over again.
Yeah.
I'm depressed.
And they don't give you as many as I thought they used to.
They probably don't.
Yeah, if you went to make the Mona Lisa, I don't even think they give you browns.
Hey, by the way, I saw Mona.
How was she?
We have a bunch of phone calls about this whole can you just talk yourself out of depression, blah, blah, blah. We will talk to Dawn again. Hi, Dawn.
Hello. How are you guys?
We are good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I want to let you guys know that sunlight is a natural antidepressant.
Right.
And that's why, if you ever heard like people up north in northern Alaska and stuff, it's dark like 16 hours a day in the winter or summer, whatever.
Yeah.
They have a chemical reaction with sunlight. If they're in the sun, it facilitates vitamin D absorption through the skin, which creates another chemical reaction in the brain, releases more serotonin. Makes you feel good.
Serotonin.
So,
but those people up there where it never gets dark flip out.
They're happy, aren't they?
No, they're like crazy. Did you see that movie Insomnia with Al Pacino and Robin Williams?
Is she talking about where it's
sleep?
Well, yeah. All right. Thank you, my darling.
Yeah, you're high.
What about that guy that's way too tan? Remember?
George Hamilton.
You think he's ever been depressed?
Dude, I love that. He's the funniest man in the world.
But he's way too tan.
We should have him in. You would fall in love with this guy. He's so fun.
And Dallas Raines.
I see Dallas Raines I find scary.
We should call him and see if he's ever been depressed. Because he is.
He's depressed because he got melanoma.
Get it? That's sad and not nice. You hurt other people's feelings.
Oh, Squeal Boy. Squeal Man.
Tracy, hi.
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 Welcome to our show.
Hi, I was calling to talk about the depression.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have been fighting a workman's comp case since 2000. I have carpal tunnel tendonitis in both of my arms.
Oh, the carpal tunnel.
Hairpins on fire.
And wait, what's the other one? She has
neck brace.
Epstein Barr.
Yeah.
Do you have
Too
Epstein
tired
Barr?
to have carpal tunnel.
Do you have Epstein Barr?
No.
Yes.
Do you have Roseanne Barr?
I love
Because she is a vile human being.
I love the carpal tunnel Epstein Barr thing. Oh my God.
Roseanne Barr is a vile human being.
What's that about?
Jamie doesn't
You were on
know
I
this.
know, you were on sabbatical.
When you were
Hold on,
sabbatical,
Tracy.
Remember how we were trying to get Roseanne on and it looked like it was going to go good, and next thing you know, she was on with Lisa and Jason and we didn't get her?
Well, and she was in the...
Walking down the hall. Here, so maybe, was it the next day you went on sabbatical?
I saw her just walking up and down the hall.
You know what?
well,
we
it
didn't
was
know.
like the week before.
We didn't know till Lisa told us. Here's
Yeah.
what happened. I have done the Roseanne show a million times, her talk show. I was like the only guest that would come back. And she's crazy as a loon. And like she'd call me up personally and say, I'm in a jam. Can you come down? And I'd just come down and do her show out of nowhere because somebody canceled. So I see her walking down the hall and I go, hey, Roseanne, what you doing? She goes, nothing, and keeps walking. So I don't think anything about it except she probably should have said a bigger hi to me. I've done her a couple favors. So then Lisa's in here with me while you're on sabbatical. And I don't know how it came up. She goes, oh, she hates you. I said, what? Because I wanted to get her. And she said, oh, no. And then she told me off the air because Lisa's like so sweet. She wouldn't even say it on the air. She goes, Roseanne said, Danny Bonaducci is a vile human being.
So she really knows you.
Yeah. Wow, one that really knows you.
So I'd just like to go on record. So I'm taking back my friendship.
Well, there is no friendship. Why does she hate you?
I swear to God, I don't know.
That's funny.
I've always done exactly, she's asked me to do a show. I did a regular show. I did that crazy cooking show she did. I did a reality show. I delivered for that woman a bazillion times, and I have no idea.
It's just like my thing with Mrs. Spelling. I thought she loved me. She said she's a fan of the show. Next thing I know, she won't be on our show.
But it's like she's a fan of the show. But have you ever done her like 5 personal favors?
I sat and had wine with her.
Yeah.
A friggin' bitch Roseanne is a vile human being.
You're depressed.
I'm happy I don't look like Roseanne because she's vile.
It is weird, though, when you find out people don't like you.
Yeah, I was shocked, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
You got to call her.
I should, but now she's right. Now I am a vile human being.
No, but it'd be
when it comes
funny.
to her.
We should call her.
Okay.
You have her number?
I actually might. Or at least a representative.
Or a representative.
Well, it's not like she called me from home and
Contact
said,
your representative.
it's not like she called me from home and said, get here right away. She didn't have dilemmas at home. She had dilemmas at her shows. Because nobody ever wanted to do it because she's such a vile human being.
Wow, that's weird. It's just like, what's that guy that we talked to and I thought it was going really great? He was married to Meg Ryan.
Dennis Quaid.
Thought he was all happy with us, that Dennis Quaid. Next thing I know,
See, but if you ask us, he faked being happy, but I get why he was mad. He didn't want to talk about it when we talked about it. He should have given us a heads up that he didn't want to talk about it.
well, he should have faked that. Shouldn't have faked that he was all happy and loving.
It was better. Well, I don't know that it was better than he
because
faked
we
it.
kept going
But
then.
either way, I get why he was mad. There's a reason there. With this Roseanne, aside from the fact that she's a vile human being, I have
Didn't you
no
pee
idea.
outside with her or something?
As a matter of fact, yes, that's another favor I did her.
You peed outside with her. That was a favor.
No, I did her stupid record store thing at Tower Records in the middle of the night.
Yeah. I don't know. You must have done something.
I didn't
to
do
become
a thing.
vile.
What my guess is somebody, probably Stench, because everybody every now and again gets mad at me because he says something. I'm guessing Stench may have said something horrifying about her,
Probably,
and she thinks it's me.
No,
yeah,
here's-
it's your
And I'm
fault.
just guessing.
No,
I'm not
it's your
accusing
fault.
you at all.
I
Swear to
am.
God.
I'm accusing. It's your
This
fault.
is how it couldn't be because I love her. She's one of
Nuh-uh,
my
it's your
favorites.
How
fault.
can you love her? She's a
I
vile
know.
human being.
I like her as a comedian. I loved her shows. I like her.
But I like her and did all her stuff.
No, but
so
you're
what happened?
You're vile.
I know, but how'd I get vile?
Because of stench. You just said so.
No, you
no,
were vile.
I said that's a guess. I don't know how I got vile on this
You
chick.
caused Danny's vileness.
Oh, no, it's Danny peeing outside or something she didn't like because it's vile.
Can we get back to Tracy and her light therapy?
You ever
Yeah,
pee on Roseanne?
All right. Anyway, oh my God, Tracy. So you have Epstein Bar, you have carpal tunnel. Now, what's the deal?
I've been in and out of court for the last 4 years trying to win the case. I've been fighting with Social Security to get disability.
Because of Epstein Bar, you want disability. Why don't you wear one of those arm braces like the rest of the cashiers?
Oh, I do. And it does nothing. My hands turn purple, my arms, I lose strength. They're telling me there is no cure. There's nothing they can do. I've done the drugs. I've been to chiropractors.
Wait a second. So what do you have to do to make your hands turn purple?
I don't have to do nothing. I wake up in the morning. I
And
have
they're
no grips
purple?
in my hands. My hands are purple.
You bring your
And the
purple
doctor
ass
said,
hands
well-
in here, I'll give you $100. You bring me some purple hands, I'll give you $100.
Okay.
All
Because I
right.
think you're lying.
All right, so Tracy, we'll give you your address, our address, not yours. You have that. We'll give you our address, and then you bring in your purple hands, and Danny will give you. And don't paint them or anything.
No,
You
because
just,
if they're pale, I'm going to lick them.
Right.
And make sure the color doesn't come
all
off.
right, so you bring us your purple hands, and Danny will give you $100.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
all right. Purple hands are coming, Danny.
I don't believe it. I don't think she has purple hands. I
Well-
think she's a big neck brace wearing, Epstein Bar suffering, tunnel carpal thing wearing, non-trustworthy human.
Well, sometimes it is easier, I think. I believe that sometimes when you're sitting there all day typing away at a computer and entering crap,
Right.
your arms, you'll get some fatigue.
Well, because I don't know how to type, by the time I'm done with a full paragraph, my wrists really do hurt, but it's probably I'm holding in the wrong position trying to type.
But I think it's just one of those things you suffer.
Yeah, shut up.
You just get a new job if it hurts.
Yeah, here's what doctors should say when you come in with that stuff. Shut up.
No, what they'd say is, oh, okay, just keep coming in and we'll
Yep.
regularly schedule you, and then that way I'll get regularly paid. I think. I don't know for sure. But that's what I heard.
I'd like to meet that doctor.
But I know nothing. All right, anyway, you know what we really should do sometime this week? Is we really should try to call Roseanne.
Yeah, because I'd like to find out why she thinks I'm vile.
I found out that it's your vials why she wouldn't come on this show after we had her and then it didn't happen.
She thinks I'm vile for some reason,
Yeah,
but I
we
swear
need
to God,
get
I've
the
never
bottom
done
of
anything
that.
to her.
Right, and that's the thing.
As a matter of fact, I've done kindnesses for her. So it's a mistake of some kind.
That's the thing is I think we could get to. I think it's just been a simple misunderstanding.
That's what I think.
I think what?
I agree that he's vile. I have our parrot update, which is nothing at all. While we were off the air, I talked to the parrot lady, and absolutely nothing happened since yesterday. The parrot's still missing.
Oh, That's sad.
That is sad.
They didn't need a big build-up because there was nothing.
Okay. All right. So here's what we know from today. Depression is something you can probably work through, I think. Dr. Phil's big fat liar.
Roseanne Barr is a vile human being.
Roseanne Barr is vile. Tracy has Epstein-Barr. She has purple hands. She's on her way down to the studio. And yesterday's show regarding the parrot has not flown back home.
Yeah, in a couple of minutes, I get to tell the world the wonders of Cortislim. And it's going to start off like this. If you don't want to be a big fat pig like Roseanne Barr, take Cortislim.
Why don't we put our anger over on the shelf, and then we'll figure out what the problem is.
I hate her now.
No, you don't.
She can't just vile me.
She did vile you.
I know, and I didn't do anything, but I've done her favors. It's not even like this is, just random. She picked
I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, who's George Maloof dating?
It's not George.
Oh.
Way to go.
It's like Gavin or something.
It's Gavin's dating. No, it's Joe maybe, but somebody was in the paper with Anna Nicole Smith.
Ew.
Ooh.
Don't do it.
Really? Are you sure?
Monica, come in here. Hurry.
Make it snappy. Say that. I like that better.
Make it snappy. On the double. Stat.
It was on Access Hollywood last night, and yeah, it's Joe Maloof.
Really?
She's like in love with him, and she made this big public like, call me and la la la.
Oh, but we don't know if he likes her.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know that.
Why
I didn't see anything where he was with her, but I saw her
she
making
just-
a plea like on TV saying, call me.
Oh.
Hey, George.
We may be calling you about nothing.
George, it's Jamie, it's Danny. There's
Hi, buddy.
Jack, there's Stinge, Monica too. Hi, George. Anyway, we're looking forward to the world's wildest bachelorette
Right.
party.
Also, August 7th, I'm playing there with the world's greatest comedians from Last Comic Standing.
And we also know that they're still looking for that Palms chick, right? The hottest Palms girl in the world.
There's so much going on with us and George Maloof.
At the Palms Casino Resort, Las Vegas. We had a question because apparently last night on Access Hollywood, Anna Nicole Smith is after your brother Joe. So
Run, Joe, run.
I know you're listening to these, so could you call us actually during the show?
What are our bets on this?
None. He won't call back. He hates me.
Does he hate you?
Oh my God, yes.
Why?
Well, because it's this week. Next week he'll like me again.
Okay.
All right, bye, George. I know you won't call us back, but if you could, or have your brother Joe call us, that'd be fabulous.
Right.
Well, you never
Otherwise,
know.
we'll see you at the world's wildest bachelorette party and the comedy night August 7th.
Jack, anything to add?
No, just that I love George.
We all love George.
All right, bye, George.
Bye, George.
Okay, that was George Maloof's answering machine,
Right.
which we happen to get a lot. Just really never George, just his answering machine. Anyway, all right, so that is one thing I want to talk about. Also, Jack, his wife, has asked him to go camping. And what's interesting is that Jack came up with a reasonable and rational excuse as to why they can't go camping. By the way, I love that she wants to go camping. I love camping.
Okay, why?
Well, and don't you hate this? And by the way, I know some of you can play where you make an excuse and then somebody bails you out. He doesn't have camping equipment.
Like nothing.
I do.
Yeah, I've got worse news. He actually took the Big 5 Sporting Goods ad out of my hand this morning so,
Right.
I wouldn't buy another crossbow. I'll buy you camping
No,
equipment.
no, you don't need to. I have it.
In other words, you can't get out of
There's
this.
no excuse. I have camping equipment, and Jack, there's a bonus because I will let you borrow that Cerritos Hummer. And then I know my friend Jody has the big air mattresses, and it has an air compressor in the back, so you can just blow up the air mattresses with the air compressor, put it in your tent, live like royalty.
I can top you.
Oh, no, you can't.
Yes, I can. After you get all that stuff, the extra added surprise, I'll go with.
All right, so here's the story. We will talk about the Democratic National Convention because we want to talk about Ted Kennedy. He spoke. Some little girl, they put her up there. She spoke as well. Ron Reagan Jr. and then Teresa Carrot.
Right.
They all, excuse me, they all talked. And we have a buttload of stuff that we need to go through, including Saddam Hussein is incarcerated, as y'all know. Hopefully you know that. Otherwise, that's scary that you don't. And he's been writing poetry and taking care of a bush.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Where
Yeah,
he
where
put
he surrounded white rocks around
yeah.
it?
And so he's been gardening, and so we have some of the poetry that Stench has actually dug up on the internet.
Very nice investigative reporting, by
Yeah.
the way, Stench.
Right, that he will read for you. But in the meantime, just a side note, which was not planned, Jack mentions And y'all do this. You know how you make that great excuse? Jack doesn't want to camp.
Right.
Jack is like that guy I used to date, FP. He said, the only place I'm going to camp is the Ritz-Carlton.
That's not exactly camping.
Right. But I mean, that's, you know. Jack is like, he's not going to camp. So he tells his wife, we don't have any camping gear and we can't afford a bunch of camping gear because it's like when you bake a meal, it ends up costing you $200.
If you follow a cookbook.
Yeah, zest a lemon. I mean, I have to buy the damn zest.
Yeah, who has zest?
Right.
I have no zest.
Me either. So it ends up costing you a buttload. So I have saved the day because I have all the equipment for Jack.
Or you've just stabbed your friend Jack right in the spine.
And that's the other thing is like, don't you hate it when you say, well, you know what, I can't because then you're making an excuse and then, oh, no, I got it.
Yeah.
Oh. So then we all sat around during those commercials telling good old campfire stories.
That are years and years old, I'd like to point out.
Yes, and if my youngest stepson, the kid formerly known as my stepson, is listening, let me just tell you that stepmommy, it was only once. I didn't inhale. Stepmommy wasn't that crazy, and I don't condone it.
If you didn't inhale, you're going to have a hard time explaining your behavior. Then you're just insane.
But here's what I know. All the stories in this room involve a wolf, right?
A wolf?
A wolf, alcohol.
Seconal.
What is that?
It was when Quaaludes started to get too expensive and the government wouldn't put them out anymore, people started to make fake ones. And they made them with Seconal, but Quaaludes a big pill. Oh. So they gave you enough Seconal in each pill to put you to sleep for 3 days.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's quite the camping adventure you had.
You don't even know.
And then just one little toke of some marijuana.
All right. Now, before we go around the room and give you our camping stories, I'd like to make this disclaimer.
Right.
This is years ago.
Years.
We have outgrown this behavior.
Right.
Nobody in this room condones this behavior.
No.
We're ashamed of our behavior, but proud that we have overcome these trials and tribulations.
Yes.
And kids, don't try this at home.
Right.
All right. Jack, would you like to start?
So at a lot of campsites, it's first come, first serve.
Right.
And at the time I was in college and I could get out easily. So my friend and I go up on a Thursday night and everybody else is going to show up on Friday when they get off
You're
of work.
going to set it all up.
We're going to get the campsite because once you have it, it's yours. And we're going to bring up all the supplies. So my buddy and I, we drive up. It was up in Big Bear. Drive up the hill, unload cases of beer, bottles of booze, all the food, sit down. And now what do? It's two guys in the mountains.
Well, you got to take a break. You need a beer.
Right. So we start drinking. Next thing you know, I wake up in a lounge chair when everybody else shows up Friday. We've consumed all the booze and all the food got ransacked by the wildlife while we were passed
now
out.
That, my friends, is camping. So you have gone camping, though, Jack.
Yes. All right. My turn.
Okay.
So I have a buddy next door to me. This is 1980, maybe. And he is a diabetic. But he's also a good fisherman and owns a little Toyota truck with a camper shell on the back. So we go fishing, and we're going to take these Quaaludes, which are muscle relaxers, and we're going to feel all tingly
Right,
and
because you had a strain in your neck.
No, because it was actually pre-drug addict.
Oh,
this was just recreational. So it turns out that the Quaaludes weren't real. They were Seconal, which is a huge, narcotic.
Thing, yeah.
So we wake up in the back of the camper, and we're covered in blood and scratches. So at some point we have fallen, seriously, unless we fought, but it didn't look like fight injuries. But we're covered in blood and cuts. Finally, we find out it's Tuesday. And we've been asleep in a shut camper shell for 3 days.
Oh.
Ray's a diabetic. And he feels weird anyway. When we find out we've been unconscious for 3 days, he knows that he's flipping out because of diabetes.
You can be unconscious for 3 days?
3 days. We went down on the weekend, and it was Tuesday. So we've got total dehydration.
Oh, my God. You're
and Ray's screaming, I have to have chocolate. Get chocolate.
Yours is sad because you guys could have died.
We could have died. We were in a little tiny, and when I say camper shell, it's just a shell that's to cover things. It's not like there wasn't any carpet or anything. We were just in the back. It's like a prison camp when they would put you in the hot box.
Yeah.
We're all dehydrated, and he's going into a sea.
Anaphylactic shock or whatever it's called.
There's my camping.
That's camping, Jack. All right, well, mine is real quick. When I was in Denver, we had the best staff ever. I love them. And we all camped together. Afternoon show, night show, everybody. We all went camping. So the morning show got done first, and we decided to take everybody's stuff up there and go camping. And my partner was a chronic
He was a chronic?
Or whatever they say. You know, he smoked a lot of weed,
And this is years and years and years ago. Could be any partner.
Right. Well, it was Frank.
Okay. Well, in that case, it was Frank.
And he smoked a lot of pot.
God bless him.
And so we all went up together, and I really didn't smoke pot.
Right.
So Frank said, you know, you want to smoke some pot, and I felt pressure from the show.
Yeah, Frank the bad influence. Let's say that right now.
Because, you know, I was like, I'm a stepmom, and I'm married to a doctor, and, you know, I just can't go that way.
He's like a pusher by the elementary school,
Right,
that Frank.
he was.
Damn his eyes.
But my husband, my stepkids weren't around. They weren't going to be up there for 2 hours, and we were going to fix everything. So I smoked a big fat doobie.
You just sound wrong even trying to say it.
What? I sounded like a cool girl.
No, you did not.
So I smoked a fatty.
Okay, no better.
The next thing I know, we have all these different poles. A and B are supposed to slip together, whatever. We have the diagram. We can't figure it out. There's just poles everywhere. I'm panicking because I start to go into paranoia.
Yeah.
And then I can't breathe. My chest is getting tight. He's just laughing at me and eating like barbecue potato chips. And he and my other partner, they're on the ground crying because they're laughing so hard at my panic attack.
Hey, that other partner was years ago. Could have been anybody.
Right, that was Frosty.
Right.
And so I'm just like, I'm freaking out. And then I'm like, you guys that can't know, my stepkids can't know. And they're like, we've always hated you. We're going to let them know. And so all I have are poles, and I just start bawling. It was so sad. I start crying, and then my husband and the stepkids, they pull up, and they're like, what's wrong? And I told them that I fell down.
I fell down and landed on a big fat doobie.
I told them I sprained my ankle, and I was upset because I couldn't set up camp.
Because she was with the guys that could have been any partners any year named Frosty and Frank.
Right.
Pushed drugs on her.
And that's not even allegedly.
When we come back, Stench attacked by an incredibly mangy wild wolf.
Okay, the last out of our camping stories. This is not planned, not on the script today, but Jack came to us and said, dude, it's so cool because I got out of camp and my wife wants to go camping, which, by the way, she's not one of those girls I would ever look at and say, now that's a camper.
Where is she going to get her sparkle?
Okay.
Yeah, will she wear like sparkle lotion?
I have an issue with this anyway because she gave me such a hard time about going to Kentucky and we're going to be out in the wilderness and on boats. She didn't do any of the fun stuff. I went tubing. She didn't go tubing. She didn't jump off any waterfalls or do any. She sat in a boat and suntanned. I'm like, you could do this at home. Why aren't you enjoying this wilderness that you wanted to go to?
Well, and that's the other thing. I went camping with non-campers, and the girl that we went with, like we went as couples, it really ticked me off because she brought nail polish, she brought cuticle cream, she brought all the girly magazines and Star Magazine and all that, and she just sat there and she filed her nails and she read through Star Magazine and told me what all the celebrities were doing, and I thought I was going to kill her.
Okay, but I would definitely bring a stack of books.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
Nope.
Nothing.
I've never brought camping books. You go hiking and all that crap.
See, I would hike to some kind of Zen spot and then sit there and read.
Walk along the creeks.
And just making a meal is a long effort because you got to get the fire going and get
right.
All that
See,
stuff
that's
takes
bitchin'.
time.
And then you have skipping rock contests.
Right.
I mean, there's just so much to do out there. There's horseshoes.
No, my only thing, I was just throwing in, I'm not against reading. I am totally against bringing nail polish and hair dryers and all that stuff.
Nuts.
But,
all right, anyway,
yeah.
So our last camping...
Attacked by a French wolf.
Yes. All right, go.
Here's what happened.
What
happened was
A couple of buddies and I were going camping in the middle of the desert.
Right.
Out here in California, right? So we drive out there, and one buddy that had the firewood and a lot of the food got lost on the way there and never made it. So the other buddy and I are there. It's nighttime. We pull up. We have no fire. We can't say it's pitch black. The other guy had almost all the crap. So we decide, well, good thing we've got the booze and stuff.
Wow, we might have a problem as a show.
We'll just get inebriated. We'll be able to sleep through this freezing cold night, and then in the morning we'll worry about this and go buy whatever we need to drive back into town.
Starting with aspirin.
Yeah. So we go ahead and get hammered, and then we're trying to sleep outside.
We go ahead and, because we have to
Right.
make it through the cold.
Yes. Oh, and it's cold at night in the desert.
Right.
So we're sleeping on these little cot things in a sleeping bag, which thank God we had. And I get up, freezing my butt off and say, screw this, it's too cold, I'm getting in the car.
Right.
I'm in the car and I'm sleeping comfortably and I hear my friend just start going, Stitch! Help me! Help me! And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm ignoring him because I'm like, nothing's going on.
I'm in the car like a wussy.
In the
desert
desert?
for like 5 or 10 minutes.
There could be axe murderers and
I know,
stuff.
he's yelling for your
Why
help.
are you bounding?
I roll the window down and I'm like, what? Because it's pitch black. Can't see anything. There's a wolf out here. So I'm like, oh my God. And I get out. And there's a campsite that was down the road a little bit, and they had a poodle. And the poodle had come over and started sniffing my friend's face while he was asleep. And he covered his head with a sleeping bag, and he thought it was a wolf. And all he could hear was the sound of a dog going, like around his head. And he's going, there's a wolf out here, save me. It was the funniest thing.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't want to look because he's
No,
afraid
to bite your face off.
And it's a poodle.
Like, it's a poodle, bitch. Go to sleep.
Yeah, but wait a minute. In his defense, you were the bitch that was in the car.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold. I thought I was going to die.
Only two options. If your friend is screaming, help me, in the middle of the desert, you either leap out of the car ready to attack the bear, or you go, it's a bear, I'm running. But you don't just sit in the car and go, shut up.
Yeah.
I was wasted.
You should have invited him to the front seat.
After the wolf left, he got in the car with me, and we both sat upright in chairs, sleeping in the car.
I will say that camping is overrated sometimes because you've been bitten by mosquitoes to death. There's a rock under your pad or whatever. Oh my God! And you're just like, why am I freezing?
So why are we doing this?
And then when you have to pee in the middle of the night, you have to go out there in the scary.
we told my old girlfriend Dana she had to go pee in the bushes, and right then Scott yelled, "Now be careful of the dangerous desert dogs!"
Oh, it's so scary.
And then we started throwing rocks near bushes.
And you get surprised. Like, when we got to Big Bear, it was like 95, and I thought, this won't be that bad.
Right.
And then at night, it got down to like
It's
40.
Whoa.
What?
I know what else you can do. I've done this one. This is a good camping story. I went camping with some friends that had never been before. And me and another guy, only one that knew, I had come to work. I took a audio cassette, fast-forwarded about 35 minutes into a 1-hour tape or whatever it was, and then put a bunch of really crazy, like, wolf sounds and bears and stuff. We got there, said I had to take a dump in the woods.
It's ingenious.
I walked out with a boombox and hit play. There were 30 minutes of just blank, so I'm sitting back, we're all around the campfire, and out of the woods, and people start freaking out.
That is frigging genius.
No, it's mean.
It's genius.
I had a chainsaw, too. I had a chainsaw stuck on there.
Then I know.
One time,
You had to go over the
I
edge.
did.
that day, the day when you were really sick and had lost your voice,
Right.
And that guy, the alligator hunter or whoever had held his baby over the alligator. Well, we were just kind of sitting here with nothing to do, so we held Dante over a blender.
Oh, very nice.
And it was funny, and people called in, and Dante thought it was really funny. And then he went into that stuff and got like sound effects of chainsaws and babies screaming.
Yeah, you might be like a sound effect happy.
It was fun.
No, I got to tell you, the 35 minutes of blank tape, so he's back and hanging out, and then it starts. That's brilliant,
Yeah,
man.
that part is really smart, but then you had to like just kill it with a chainsaw.
I did, and I had him
Gunfire.
terrified with the animal noises. I mean, this is a big, like, wolf bear or whatever the hell it was.
One of those crazy French wolf bears.
A wolf bear?
Those things are dangerous,
By
man.
the way, speaking of which, did you see, where is it, Maryland or somewhere? Where's the hell is-
Baltimore.
Baltimore. There's
That
some-
is Maryland.
No, in Baltimore, Maryland, yes. I mean, to be more specific, in Maryland,
Right.
it's a state.
What street?
I'm glad you asked. It's Glendon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's something that's that is out on the streets, and they don't. It's like a big animal, and nobody can figure out what it is. And it's caught on tape, and you can see it actually on the internet. It's caught on tape, and nobody knows what it is.
I saw the video.
What is it?
It looks like a combination of a hyena, wild pig,